I would propose that if unfunded mandates are left out, not paid, if it's not paid in 90 days, the city should be able to charge Sacramento an interest rate for the time that it takes to get paid, because clearly 15 years, you still don't get your money, even if you've been approved to be reimbursed. This is like simple math. I mean, honestly, they should just get rid of all the unfunded mandates until they clear out their backlog. There shouldn't be something called an unfunded mandate. That's just crazy to me. And it's burdening people and it's upsetting people because they didn't vote for it. Hi, I'm Elaine Culotti and I'm reporting for the Daily Signal. I just got back from DC. And now that I've had a minute to settle in and think about the exciting trip that I had, I want to reflect on a couple of things that were brought to light that I did not know existed in California. It's interesting when you get away from Californians and you talk to people that are in the business of politics in DC and you listen to what they're up against, how difficult getting through the legislation, the red tape, the bills and the bill process and the policy really is, and how much work it is, and how sometimes you do hours and hours and weeks of preparation and work, and you arrive at the door to finally push something through, and it's met with absolutely no support. That's why so many people that are in Sacramento go to DC to meet with like all different legislatures and lobby their bills and everything that they're doing. And how does this apply to what's going on in California? Well, we have a group of people that lobby in DC that are all Democrats. And part of Prop 50 took away some of the really big, loud voices for conservatives like Kevin Kiley. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to squash people that wind up in DC in front of lawmakers that can really change things for California. And they're trying to squash the voices of conservatives. That's kind of what this is all about. And I kind of got a clear picture of that. So for people who don't understand how things work in politics and what's the difference between politics and governance and just basically good business management, is that you have to ask permission. So when you have somebody that comes to a microphone saying that they're going to run for governor, and when they become the governor, they're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're going to stop this and they're going to end that and they're going to create this, those signals are in some way virtue signaling. They're not actual things if there's not a path to do it. So it's making me rethink about what we need for a governor in California, for example, or for people in Sacramento that push bills forward, and how important it is to have a balanced voice. So, one of the things that I thought was really interesting is that we lobby for things federally that impact small towns because there's not a voice in a small town that reaches a federal ear. So if you, for example, want to have a rule about ICE, because I think ICE is a very big topic, right? So let's call it a sanctuary city. Sanctuary cities are really more decided by Sacramento than they are by the cities themselves. The cities themselves really are at the mercy of what Sacramento decides. And so if they are under this pressure cooker to do things a certain way, like a mandate, whether it's a sanctuary city or it's, housing homeless people, or it's SB 79, or it's certain rules in schools, like different types of, things that they want you to administer in a school setting. Those things, all of them, whatever they are mandated by Sacramento, and they are usually mandated without funding. So they are specifically called unfunded mandates. And you can lump policy into that, brick and mortar decisions to build things like SB 79, things that are good for children or bad for children, things that are help homeless people or don't help homeless people, does not matter. They become these mandates that Sacramento passes out to California in each little city. And the unfunding of these mandates simply comes because Sacramento doesn't have the money, but they want the towns to do it anyway. And that's as simple as I can put it. And the buckets are vast and it's a lot of money. Generally speaking, there's $1 billion or more of money that is owed to cities for these unfunded mandates. So they're forced to do it with the idea they're going to get reimbursed. So your town of Sunnyvale or Brea or Cerritos or Chino, or it doesn't matter, whatever town is by you, Sacramento too, even Sacramento around the capital has a city. And if they say you need to create, 100 beds and we're not going to pay you to do it, and if you don't do it, we're going to send someone to do it, and you'll just have to pay us whatever it costs. Cities panic and they find a way by raising costs in the city to cover the bills for these unfunded mandates. And then they comply because they don't want to be out of compliance because then they lose total control, which has definitely happened with SB 79. And then it's done. And then they write a letter or an email to CSM, which is the Council for Getting This Money Back. And they 7 people who, by the way, some of them only make $100 for the day. This 7 people that cannot possibly figure out the accounting for the unfunded mandates. And they say, can you pay us? And then there's a process in which the city gets approved for that money that is so far behind that it's up to 15 years behind. 15 years of not paying bills. And here's the worst part about that, okay? There's no interest charged. So there's no incentive for Sacramento to actually solve the problem. Like, they don't charge an interest rate. I would propose that if unfunded mandates are left out, not paid, and CSM or whatever it's called, the group, the commission says, hey, you guys are owed that money, check. If it's not paid in 90 days, the city should be able to charge Sacramento interest rate, whatever, 7%, for the time that it takes to get paid, because clearly 15 years, you still don't get your money, even if you've been approved to be reimbursed. It's ridiculous. They need to charge interest. Cities should charge interest for unpaid mandates, unfunded mandates, whatever you want to call them, if the work's been done and the money is owed. This is like simple math. I mean, honestly, they should just get rid of all the unfunded mandates until they clear out their backlog and they figure out how they're going to pay. There shouldn't be something called an unfunded mandate. That's just crazy to me. And it's burdening people and it's upsetting people because they didn't vote for it. Okay. This is Elaine Culotti reporting for the Daily Signal in California.